We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
When I think about those nights in Montreal, all I think about is weed. Memories of city lights and packing bowls.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Canada Connect Connection with me and my co-host, Loretta Clark.
Hello. Bonjour from Quebec.
Bonjour. We are coming to you from
Bonjour, mon ami.
I'm in Cranbrook, BC. I'm coming to you from the Tanaha, Tobacco Plains, Lower Band territories, and in the beautiful southeastern part of British Columbia.
And I from Montreal, the unceded territory of the Kinien'kehá:ka.
And the Assiniboia, and there's so many other ones. There's many ones. Like I said, there's so many. Huron.
That's true. Mohawk.
You know,
sure.
exactly, Mohawks. But it's almost like we should almost just say we're live from Turtle Island.
You know, I
cover
like
everybody.
I'd like us to get passports before I die that say we're residents of Turtle Island. We got to make up one, okay, babe? Like let's do it as an art project. You know, when we're having our bitches retreat.
Right.
Let's make Turtle Island passport.
Well, you know, speaking of bitches retreats, I have my bitch back in the fold. May Moon's come back into the fold. So Asia's back. Yeah. She's got new baby. Baby Fox is 4 months old. And
he's a cutie, man.
Yeah.
He's a cutie pootie.
Yeah. So they're supposed to be coming out to visit me. I'm not sure when she's going to be leaving, but they're supposed to be heading out this way too. I also have my other friend Deb Watson wanting to come out and visit me from Red Deer. So, and then if we get you here, which we need to do, then it would be beautiful. Like I said, I wasn't going to have visitors this summer. I thought, I'm kind of a cunt and don't really want to fucking see anybody, right?
Well, we're everybody's coming out of the fog of the pandy. Like, how's it going there? I had a really exciting week. I'll tell you about. But how's it going there in terms of where things are at? Are people still wearing masks? Like, what's the culture like happening there?
The shits.
Are people resisting? Like, what's going on?
The shits. Interior Health has higher level uptick again. There's 267 new cases in British Columbia over the weekend. We have a huge portion of the Western Kootenays, which is Nelson, Castlegar, Slocan, Nicasp, all that area out there, that are all anti-vaxxers. Because they're all, hippies and all natural and off the gridders. And I get that. I totally understand where they're coming from. I totally do. But that's our vaccination in the Interior Health is not as good as it should be. And it's because the people on the other side of Creston don't want to get vaccinated. So here in Cranbrook, I don't think we're doing too bad. It's fairly conservative here. So a lot of the conservatives are staunch about listening to our MP, who's a conservative. Don't ask me why they seem to embrace the vaccine, but a lot of these old white men and women are running to vaccine clinics. I'm not just
that's good.
It's awesome. And because we have quite an elderly population here, Cranbrook is 20,000, but I would say that 1 in every 3 people is over the age of 50, to be fair. Mm-hmm. We have quite an older population here. It's a retirement town, like Kamloops, or like Kelowna, like Penticton. And our fires. So we've got fires raging. We've got our COVID ticking up. I don't know. We're managing.
Well,
what about your week?
I think that, people are wearing masks here all the time on the bus, indoors. Like, it's important. And, it's true. People have the freedom of choice. But the thing is, when you're talking about an infectious disease, with this new variant and in previous pandemics, the strains usually, they get stronger, then they get weaker and peter, out, whatever. But this, it's getting stronger. And if another variant comes by that's even stronger and even more transmissible, we're all back to square one. I mean, that's kind of where we're at. I mean, it's a really heavy duty karma. Like,
Well,
It's
to be
about,
fair, I'm
being
wearing my
one,
mask,
being for everyone, like
right?
being truly like caring about everyone. But, yeah, I get it. I know people, I'm sure, who won't take it, but, it's hard not to feel judgmental and pissed off at a certain point, because I feel for the frontliners. Like the nurses here have been walking out, they're wiped out. Like, what if they just like said, okay, you don't want a vaccine, just you can't go to the hospital, like you don't get hospital, everybody would freak out. What do you
Right,
mean? You know what I mean?
right,
But
right.
it's like,
And,
does it have to
and the
get to
worst
that
part about
point
it
where,
too is Alberta nurses are being wage cuts.
oh
And
God.
and then I was reading the other day, Red Deer Hospital Emergency Services had to cut back on certain services because they didn't have enough staff. Elk Valley emergency room here in the Elk Valley, which is just an hour like east of me, their emergency room has been pretty much closed on and off for the last little bit because they don't have enough staff. So when
It's
you've got
it,
emergency rooms shutting down because they don't have enough staff, isn't that telling you something too, that nurses are tired or that they're not being paid enough? And then people bitch, they get paid $35 an hour. Are you wiping up somebody's shit, piss, and fucking blood? If I was wiping up that shit, I would
and
expect to be paid $35 an hour
and
too.
constantly facing the virus, constantly.
And people being rude and ignorant, addiction problems and mental health problems. They get beat up and abused
No,
and
it's
spit on and
brutal,
all
babe.
kinds of
It's
stuff. And then
brutal.
people don't expect that they get paid well, that they're being
No,
paid too much. I'm
no,
sorry. I don't
crazy.
think we pay our teachers. I don't think we pay our doctors,
No,
our nurses, our LPNs. Even here in town, one of our old folks' homes is,
yes,
screaming
I
about
agree.
not getting enough care for their fucking people that are paying $3,000 and $4,000 a month to live at this facility, yet they're not having the care that they need. What?
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. We're both totally on the same page on this. And I mean, the one thing I'm thinking is that there's probably, a herd immunity happening because a lot of people who wouldn't take the vaccine did get infected. I mean, there's definitely herd immunity that's happening on that side as well as with the vaccine. But I feel like because of the unvaccinated, we're probably going to be in this situation for a couple more years where we might have to go back into lockdown. We may
You
have
don't want to
to.
have to do that. Like,
I know. I don't.
like I
I
really
mean,
enjoyed going out for dinner the other night. Like, we all wore
I
our
know.
masks when we got to the restaurant. And we didn't have to, but I'm still wearing my mask just because of the fact that I've got I take methotrexate. My immune system, that's, one of the reasons why I might not be able to get Invisalign with my teeth is because of the goddamn medications that I'm on. But because of that stupid medication that I'm on, to be fair, that's causing me to be one of those people that might need a booster. Like, are
For
people
sure.
are
For
not getting
sure.
that? People with transplant and rheumatoid arthritis or immune deficiencies or anything with fucking psoriasis, for God's sakes. If you have psoriasis or eczema, you have immune compromise. You're immune compromised. And all these
Yes.
people out there are just thinking that it's people with cancer. If you have eczema, you have an immune compromised system. You are more susceptible to COVID than anybody else is if you have fucking eczema even. So here,
For sure.
and people they're not seeing that, Loretta. They're not
I
hearing
know
that.
they don't care about spreading that they could be asymptomatic and kill people. That's what I can't get over it. I just can't get over not caring about humanity enough.
What's really disturbing to me? This is our fifth or sixth show now, and we still can't get past the point that people aren't getting vaccinated. I was hoping after our fifth or sixth show that we would be, yay, the vaccination rates we're at 75%.
Well,
How's things going in Montreal? Isn't it great? They're having festivals and concerts
I
and all. It's not
I'm
happening.
sure. I'm sure there's like, okay, so I think with those who haven't gotten vaccinated, that there's a big group of them are probably slowly gonna go there, or they're getting scared or something. But then there is, and they're probably not as many as we think. I mean, I watch too much CNN, so it's always
You
like
and I
10
both
times.
watch too much
Two and I
CNN.
10 times worse there. Okay, so but they're like, they're not necessarily they don't include all of the unvaccinated, but they, of course, are the diabolical Trump supporters who again, there was a rally, and I'm telling you,
I
the super
seen
spreading
that.
event that is
Oh
going to
my
happen
God, I
is
seen that.
unbelievable.
I couldn't believe that.
Unbelievable.
Like, even they were showing that to the Arizona doctor that they had, and he was just appalled. He's like, this is going to be like our, and here he is. He's an emergency room doctor on the front lines in the hospital
Exhausted.
where this rally was going on, and they had over 5,000 people wall to wall, no masks. Pretty sure that probably none of them were vaccinated, and he was just like so disturbed. I felt bad for him because he just was like totally like aghast to think that people are still out there doing this, because it's him that's going to have to treat them. And it's his
Yeah.
staff that's going to have to treat them and deal with them and possibly send them off to their deathbed. It could be him standing beside this person that's at our Trump rally as they're doing a face-to-face Skype bye-bye with their family.
I know, and there was someone else who, there's always this point of view, and it's probably true, like, don't demonize them, but it's hard not to at this point, right? Like, it's true, we, whatever, try to reach them with love, blah, blah,
Oh
blah,
my
but at
God.
some point,
How many times have we tried reaching people with love?
it's hard not to say, what is wrong with you at this point, not doing it, or just also I like some of the strategy is for because they're leaving it up to companies to decide, and putting the pressure on them in some ways. The issue is, you don't want to get vaccinated, you have to get tested like every week, or you have to get tested all the time, so that'll be such an inconvenience because getting that thing stuck up your nose can't be very nice, so that probably will be a motivator. Even though it's just like, wow, you can't be motivated because it's the right thing to do. You can't be motivated because it's just the idea of like killing people. It doesn't, like, that doesn't bother your conscience. Like, yes, the people who are in trouble are, yes, the unvaccinated, but the people who are also immune compromised, like you said, and who will need boosters and should get boosters first and foremost, absolutely. But still, like, why can't people think just a little bit beyond themselves? I guess I think it's because I find it so hard to understand that people
Or that's
actually
selfish.
they don't think about humanity.
No, I think I'm having a really hard time realizing that most 90% of the population of the world is selfish, and that they don't really care about anybody else but themselves.
Well, I don't know if it's that high. I don't know if it's 90. I hope it's not 90%, but
I'm hoping
it
too.
seems
But
like
I mean,
it's
it just
40%
seems
or 30% or 50%. I mean, it seems high
it
for
does.
sure, but I don't want to believe that it's like, because it's like, oh my God, I knew it was like hard to be on PTSD planets, but now it's like, wow.
See what if they got stats on people not giving a fuck.
Yeah, exactly. But look at we watched last night, as I did, Jerusalem, Fury and Faith. Okay, look at Herod. Okay, he makes Putin look like a fucking vanilla gangster. Okay, he makes Putin and Trump look like vanilla, like
back then they could just
compared to Herod.
Here you go, you die, and I'm going to send you to die, and you're just going to die. Oh, and you're my son, and you're my total psycho sociopath.
Kill your family, kill your
sons.
Be jealous of everybody and kill them. Like, so history is a shit show, a gangster shit show. And I guess, the good news is we have evolved. Putin still kills his, competition, but, he has limits. I mean, Trump is
well, you have to wonder.
Idiot.
That is, it's a super good series. And, I think I like the best about it is it's not really basing itself on faith. It's more history. And I know the faith is, underlying there because that's pretty much why the world's fucked up as it is because of goddamn religion. And watching this is just, solidifying, validating why I, believe that religion is the worst thing that ever, man ever
seems
created.
Weak. It seems like a weakness. But I liked how the narrative said, because he did apparently make some great buildings, but they all got destroyed. Because the narrative went to say, God will not, have it. That if you're going to do all of this with evil deeds, it will get destroyed. And I feel like there is a bit of karma that is true about that. Just like I think one of the reasons why I still want to follow what Trump is, well, because I worry that he's going to start a war. It's not just that, but also I'm waiting for his karma to hit him. And it seems like, it's not so clear
You know what
and
I honestly
direct,
believe?
but it's coming.
I honestly
It's coming.
believe this is my thoughts on Donald Trump, and I believe that because Joe Biden went to the Western Allies and he's got Canadian support, that if Donald Trump tried pulling any bullshit, that our allies, like their allies, like Canada, Britain, France, and
Europe,
Italy,
yeah.
would come in with raging horses and stomp on his little fucking militant army of fucking tin men. And that's my belief.
Oh, Tin Man. Yeah, yeah.
But that's my true honest belief. I don't believe that Canada or Britain would allow Donald Trump to come stomping in with his tin army and fucking take over like Myanmar. And I believe that Myanmar is a different situation because Myanmar is in the eastern part where we don't have much standing over there. We don't have any alliances with Myanmar, and with China, definitely we don't. So what's going on in Japan, like what's going on over in Myanmar, is something that isn't a Western kind of deal. But I'm telling you, straight up, if Trump pulled any shit, I'm pretty sure that the Canadian military would be down there backing the U.S. military. And I don't really think his tin soldiers are going to get too far, because I think it would take 2 bombs with Joe Biden bombing the crap out of him in Mar-a-Lago and take his little resort and bomb it.
Well, it probably, I hope it won't ever go close to that, but I do feel like his quacks are probably going to do something in August.
I'd be more worried about Flynn. I'd be more worried about Flynn than I would be about Trump. Because Flynn is the one rallying up,
said
too.
today? Yeah,
Oh,
Flynn is like, he should have been put in prison, like 100%.
Well, he was, and then Trump fucking
pardoned him,
like,
but he's a total criminal. Like what he said today, he got his new gun, and he said maybe he'll find someone in Washington to use it on. Like why isn't that a crime?
The best part about that, it is. And that's the best part about it. He's uttering threats, and as soon as he decides to jump on a plane to Washington, the FBI is going to scoop him. Because then he could be possibly conspiring to head to Washington to do something with his gun. You'll be guaranteed he's under surveillance. They're all under surveillance. So you can guarantee the CIA and the FBI probably have them all under surveillance. Never mind that Biden took down the outer range of gating for July 4th, right? And doubled down on Secret Service. So...
Yeah, I mean, I think he's doing a very good job, and I do think there's a lot of good Americans. Like when you see the people who lined up, and again, I don't want, I'm demonizing or whatever, but they do seem like a crazy crowd. That they are cheering about not getting vaccinated or wearing a mask. Meanwhile, that this is a super spreader event, and so many of them are going to get sick.
Those are the Walmart shoppers. Those are the crazy Karens at Walmart.
Well, but I go to Walmart. That's not very.
I said the crazy Karens at Walmart. I didn't say just because they went to Walmart. Those are the ones that that they're catching on film with the cracks of their asses hanging out and wearing the big moo dresses.
Well, we're demonizing them. We're not being nice, but I can't help it anymore because it's like, how can they fall for this shit?
You know what? This is our show. We don't have to fucking be nice.
Oh yeah, we're the bitches show because we're bitches.
This is our show. We don't have to be nice.
We're mean bitches.
Well,
you're the bitch from the west. I'm the bitch from the east.
Right? But I mean, in reality, it's not even not being nice. It's just being factual. It's just being truthful. It's talking truth about shitty people. It's not talking shit about people. It's talking truth about shitty people. And the fact of the matter is, if you're all lined up, fucking screaming and holding, and you know what bothered me? Did you see those fucking hats that said Trump that looked like Chinese hats? Like the Chinese, little Japanese round hats?
I think I did.
What in the fucking actual fuck is that? What are you trying to say? That just totally, that's racist. I'm sorry. That's what it screams to me.
Yeah.
Racism.
Yeah.
Here's your China hat with Trump's name on it. That is the most racist fucking thing I've seen in my life. Seriously.
Well, they definitely like to hurt people. And that's the thing. I think that there's amongst them, they do want to start a war because they're itching to kill. That's what they. That's when they
Well, remember I
have
mentioned
that
to you
kind of crazy.
that they'd have crazy people shooting people all over the United States on a whim every day for the next whatever, and try and prove that Biden can't keep control of guns and can't keep control of crime. Remember I mentioned that about the second show, and here we
Yeah,
are 6 shows in,
yeah,
and it's the same exactly what I said. Every day there's a shooting, mass shooting of some sort. The crime rates are down, but the homicide rates in the U.S. are up because
yeah,
of guns, and they want to push
yeah,
the gun control.
yeah,
And the minute
yeah.
they push the gun control is when them little fucking tin soldiers are going to come out with their raging fucking lunaticisness,
Like Flynn. Yeah, exactly,
right?
exactly.
So they're trying to
It's
push the envelope. They're trying to push the Biden administration to push for gun control so that they have a reason and a fucking excuse to go out with their fucking tin soldiers and scream.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
I fear something again is going to
Check the
happen.
bathroom.
But the thing that I don't understand is, um, there's a tradition in the States that, whoever's president 2 years later, whatever, they lose the House, they lose this, I don't know. And it's like, I'm hoping that Democrats are really, getting organized. I know they have to have to do so much more work about the vote because of the suppression and this and that, but I just feel like I really hope that young people stand up and go and vote, because they always count on young people not voting. Same here, conservatives here too. Which we should talk about Canadian
We will
politics.
we'll do American politics for another 10 minutes, and then after our break we'll come
Yeah,
back.
yeah, no,
We'll stick. Yeah, we'll might as well stick with American for another 10 minutes, and then we'll go on to Canadian
when
politics.
do you think the next election's going to be called? Since we had a very historic day, which is positive news that we should go into, but. Should we do a little thing, like a little bet? Like, I'm going to say August 14th. That's a sort of special day because it's my father's death anniversary. I think the election's going to be called on that day. When do you think it's going to be called in Canada?
I gotta look at my calendar.
Yeah, look at your calendar. And
I'm gonna look at my calendar. I'm gonna say next Wednesday. So what's the date on next Wednesday?
Is that like the 3rd or 4th or something?
Something like that.
Don't you think he's going to give Mary at least
No.
2 weeks?
No.
At least 2 weeks to get ready.
I will call it for the 4th of fucking August.
Our beautiful new Attorney General. I used to say I wish the Attorney General and the Senate all would be abolished, but now that we have a beautiful Attorney General who exudes such beautiful kindness and sweetness, and I feel like she's going to really do something for reconciliation. It was such a good day for Canada today.
It was a
beautiful day.
Very historic day for Canada to have the first Indigenous Inuktitut leader as our Governor General. She's not the first woman; she's the 5th woman to sit in that space. But they had Adriana Clarkson on today, yes. And she was our former Governor General. And she was mentioning how, and she's not Indigenous by any stretch. I think she's Chinese. I'm not even sure. Chinese Canadian, I think. And she made a comment about when she first went to the North in '66 and how they all came out to see her because she was the first journalist that looked like them. So it was it's really incredible. And Mary, and Mary's also been, she was on radio for CBC, but let's face it, Mary Simon has a longevity of working within policy within the Canadian political realm. She has sat across from Pierre Elliott Trudeau and put him right in its place. She has stood for Indigenous people. She set up the Baltic Commission. She has basically set out the North to the commissions and place it the way it is. Without Mary Simons being there to be the diplomat between the Inuit and the Canadian government, I don't think we'd be anywhere. So she is an incredible woman. She's an incredible policymaker. She's intelligent beyond her years, and she's 70 years old. So you have to look at the fact that
she looks great.
She's 70 years old, but she has been involved in politics for over 40 years.
Yes.
So
that's awesome.
And when she told Trudeau that her Inuktitut name meant bossy old lady, I had to laugh because that was the most priceless moment I think of anything that he could have gotten. It's like, I'm a bossy old lady, and watch out, mother, because I'm coming for you.
But she's so kind and smart.
But don't mistake her kindness for putting up with shit, because she won't.
Oh, I'm sure she
No,
won't.
that's the
And
thing.
why?
She's very,
And she
she's
should
very
never
confident.
have to.
Yeah, she's very confident in herself, and she will not put up with any crap from anybody. And that's the nice thing about
I
the.
don't think she'll get any crap from any. Oh wait, what am I talking about? I'm from Montreal, and the Bloc, protested her appointment because she wasn't fluent in French
Over
right away.
100 complaints to the fucking language commission because she
From
doesn't speak French.
all from Quebec, from the
I don't
hypocrites
speak
called the
French
Bloc.
either, and I don't speak Inuktitut, and I don't speak anything but English. Could you just imagine? Because
Well,
there's
she,
many of
you
us
know,
that do
I
not.
know, I'm sure she will be proficient. She'll have like all, she will get there absolutely. But that's not the point. It's just, they just, I don't know, they just think if it's not about French, then they freak out, and yet they have no problem,
But the indigenous
stepping on
languages should be just
minorities and
as
stepping
protected
on,
just as much as
the English.
theirs. That's the thing that the Quebecois should understand that indigenous languages was here before them.
I know, no, they don't understand that,
Before
honey.
the
They do
Métis,
not
right?
that does not
Exactly.
compute.
But they want their
That does
language
not
protected.
compute.
Why should not the indigenous languages
Yes,
be
of course.
protected first?
But I hear you. But you know what? I actually, on Facebook, someone accused me of hating the French. She was French, of course, because I did get all feisty because because I think, just feeling, maybe I am feeling anti-French because of the language police. And during a pandemic, we get language police. Like, I just find that unbelievable. And also, they just seem to, because they're so into, they're, protecting their language. And I do believe, French needs protection. And I try to understand. And, I signed up to have some French lessons because I think if I have to fight them in French, I got to learn French. No. But I know it would be better if I could. If I could.
Parlez-vous français?
We'll see. I'm hoping I'll find out on August 3rd. I got a phone appointment with someone to find out.
Très bien, Loretta.
Oui, for sure. No, I mean, absolutely. I hope I can do way better than I am. And I don't want to be seen as hating the French, but this woman accused me of hating the French, which made me feel, I've tried to
it's not that you hate the French. I don't hate the French either. I don't like the entitlement. It really bothers me that they want to protect only themselves and their language. And what really bothers me the most is this religious symbols bullshit. About the burqas and the niqabs and all that stuff, because they figure that it's okay to wear a goddamn cross, but it's not okay to wear. And here's my stance on that: take it all off.
Hypocrisy. Yeah.
Take it all off.
For sure.
Just don't wear it at all. How about if you're going to do that? That means all religious symbols across the country. That means that nobody wears them outside their house. But then that's not religious freedom either. And we have religious freedom within our Constitution. Right. So where do you draw the line? And I don't believe that them wearing their niqab is actually educating our children against anything. It's not doing anything. So a child asks what it's for. Well, it's a
also,
religious symbol.
Also, we're talking about so few women who wear it, and the fact that they freaked out over that. There's just such a, again, like it seems
for them to go into a courtroom to fight people to make a legislation about something that they wear.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. It's a waste
we're
of
totally
tax dollars. It's just totally, it's ridiculous.
But people will say, and I've been one of them too. Like Trudeau is too. Everybody. When it comes to Quebec, everybody has to, for some reason.
They've been pussyfooting around Quebec forever. We've been pussyfooting around Quebec since the beginning of fucking Canada, because you don't want to piss them off because they might blow you up. FLQ and all.
I don't know about that.
Right? Look at the FLQ. Look at the separate. Then you got Mad Max running around fucking everywhere too across Western Canada right now. Max Bernier out here spreading his fucking propaganda and his bullshit.
It's too bad he didn't become leader of the Conservative Party, because he would have destroyed them. It would have been I wish that he would have won. Oh man, Mad Max, just
but he's out here running around fucking British Columbia trying to change minds, and everybody's like,
he's gonna get 3 votes. Who's gonna vote for him?
Oh, we had Party. We had People Party candidates out here in these Kootenays. Last federal election, we actually had a People's Party candidate that was running for Max Bernier. We most certainly did, for both East and West Kootenays. That's the scariest shit ever, is that we actually had candidates. for that, and then the Green Party's federally is imploding because
Oh my
Anna
God.
May might think that,
I
that
mean,
they
but I'm sorry, that is just so dysfunctional to do that to your leader, like just before an election. And a friend of mine is going to try and run for them, and I'm saying, that is like,
I wouldn't bother because you know what, they're going to go to
talk
court.
about
And
throwing her under the bus.
she
like,
threw herself.
really.
You know what, Loretta? To be fair, I know some insight on this. To be fair, she threw herself under the bus by not signing on to people that were already previously in the leadership before her and the CEOs and stuff before her. I know some of them that have literally shut down and told Elections Canada they're not running a candidate at all. And they can do that, and they can do that because then she can't parachute another candidate into that fucking region at all. So once they shut down that area for any Green Party representation at all they have to do is get a CEO, send it out to Elections Canada saying we're not running a candidate in this election. That means the Green Party won't be running in that area, period. Because that's how badly she has pissed off people within the party. And we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. We'll talk about Samara. We'll thank our sponsors. You've been listening to us live. You've been listening to us live on paceradio.net. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
The People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada is an organization working to improve cannabis legalization in Canada. They have a mission and values that includes all Canadians, no matter where they come from. Their values are including everyone, as no one should be excluded from participating, equality, diversity, advocacy, along with cannabis education and research, plus industry, safety, and professional standards. If this is an organization that has the same values as you, check them out at peoplesallianceofcannabisincanada.ca. Once again, peoplesallianceofcannabisincanada.ca. Check them out.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
CP operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888, and grow on with CP.
Growing your own vegetables, flowers, or even medicinal plants can be a challenge without the right equipment and proper know-how. At BMA Hydroponics, not only are they your urban horticultural experts and suppliers, but their staff holds the customer's needs paramount to making a sale. Family-owned with decades of experience and knowledge, they offer free advice in person, by phone, or email. BMA Hydroponics wants to ensure you have the advice you need, which is why you'll find tips and tricks on different ways to grow, like wick, ebb and flow, drip, or aeroponic system, as well as other helpful links at bmahydroponics.com. If you can't find what you're looking for, just let them know, and they'll do everything they can to get what you're looking for. At BMA Hydroponics, each staff member also possesses a federal exemptee MMAR license, making their strong suit empathy, experience, and dedication to their customers. Because when you know how to grow, you'll have results that make you proud. BMA Hydroponics in Belleville, Ontario. Visit bmahydroponics.com.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
Okay.
Okay, we are back. We were back. So we were talking previously about the great Governor General that we've just been blessed to get, and Mary Simons is a huge blessing, as well as the AFN just elected the first female chief too for the AFN.
I'm really gonna miss
Marianne.
Perry.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
Perry
miss
Belgrade.
Perry so much. Like, I just think he is the greatest dude. I mean, I found him always compelling, interesting. Also, somebody who exudes a kindness. You know, I just feel like he's probably a really good guy. I'm gonna miss him for sure.
Yeah.
I hope he's on to greater things, though, too. I hope, but yeah, no,
I'm not
I think
sure.
he
I
was
don't think they have mentioned what he's doing. But yeah, Roseanne
Very
Archibald
well
is
done.
now the new AFN national chief. First woman that has been voted in for the FN as well. So yeah,
Another
Roseanne
first.
Archibald, yeah, and Perry Belgrade was previous to her, and then they've also signed over in the last couple of weeks. The Métis Nation has gotten their sign over too. There's been a lot of steps made forward.
I know.
In the last couple
which
weeks,
is why
right?
we can never have a conservative government, because we never have progress. Like, you know, I know that the polls are looking very good for the Liberals. I just, hope that I hope the Conservatives lose seats. I'm, praying for that.
Well, Kenny's not making any friends in Alberta. Let's put it that way. But he's also come out with, the BC took on the federal government's $10 a day daycare. Now, the Kenny government's come out with something similar, catching on. There doesn't say it's $10 a day, but the subsidies for childcare in Alberta are going to go up too, in coinciding with working with the federal government. After he had already said he could get the federal government could get stuffed and he wasn't going to take anything from them. So now, because he's wanting to play nicey-nicey because he wants more transfer fucking payments out of the federal government, right? So now he's starting to work with them, and I just kind of find it absolutely hypocrisy, on some of the shit that he implemented when he was a federal MP, and now he's, I didn't do that. Is your name Steve Urkel, you fucking idiot? Like, do you have a lack of memory that you implemented that policy when you were a federal MP, and now you're saying, I don't want to do that? What? When it comes to infrastructure and trains, what is wrong with you? Oh, that's right, it's not attached to a pipeline. Well, guess what, buddy? Pipelines are pipe dreams.
Yeah.
Line 3 in the States, the Dakota Water Protectors, and that's something else I want to get out there. Please donate to the Dakota Water Protectors, because they are at line 3 right now, as that pipeline is going through their natural water space. And that's
Where's
something.
that one coming from?
That's in the States. It's in Nebraska, and it's a U.S. pipeline. It's not Canadian at all.
Right. Okay.
But again, the Americans have less regulated oil than we do. So when everybody's screaming about our oil patch has got the highest safety regulations and highest reclamation regulations. Like, they're so regulated in the north. Like, they're regulated up to their assholes. How I know this? My husband works up there, and like,
well, you would know.
The minute he gets out of his truck, he's going to regulate the tire. He's going to, look at the tire. Everything's got to be written down, documented, checked off. You know what I mean? Even his logbooks, like they do a quarterly bonus for them. Well, because Alvin's, logbook was off one day, he didn't get the safety bonus because the logs have to be exactly correct too, because they drive truck. It's just like, so when people think that the oil patch in Canada is not regulated, think again. It's over-regulated too, but in the States, it's not. So they're just whipping through, and they're out there bucking it, and they're bare skin, and they've got no safety regulations, and they're pumping more oil out of the Gulf of Mexico now than they ever have been. So, in Texas, and that's why the Texas governor is getting all puffy and huffy, and because he's figuring he's going to have lots of money coming in, and he can tell Biden to get stuffed. But that ain't going to happen too quickly, too soon, because
hopefully Matthew McConaughey will run for governor, and that
of
dude
Texas.
will be booted. I mean, yeah.
Oh well, then
anything
would be better than the idiot they've got
in their storm, because of their grid. Like, I
Never
mean,
mind the COVID numbers
I know
through
people have
Texas
a
right now.
short memory, but when people die, like, Jesus Christ,
Well,
you know?
they're too hot in the summer, they're too cold in the winter, they have a storm go through, everything froze up, people died, and now their COVID numbers are skyrocketing too because it's let's not bother with vaccines, and don't wear a mask, everybody, let's all go to the market. So, you know what I mean? And again, nobody wants to hear it. It's been a year and a half, almost 2 years of this bullshit. I don't want to hear it. I don't want it. But this is what's still in our faces. It might be sunny. It might be warm. It might be 35 goddamn degrees and we're dying of heat exhaustion. And again, because of climate change that people still want to deny. Like, you know, like, pull your heads from your fucking asses.
I mean, how many fires are you looking at?
There was 254 of them yesterday. I haven't checked on the total numbers today, but they did a back burn on one of the big ones we've got burning about 28 kilometers from me, and the back burn helped a bit, but it was significantly only on the one side, and the other side didn't work because the wind picked up. So we're battling 32-degree weather. I think it's 30 degrees right now. We haven't had a drop of rain since I can't even remember when we had rain. Anytime we do get cloud cover, it's electric, like dry lightning going through and lighting up more shit. So we've had extreme heat. We've had fires. We don't see any break in sight. To be fair, I don't see anything in sight. Like, it's just, it's ridiculously hot again today. I'm sitting here. I didn't bring my little air conditioner with me to the table because I was in our room. But I literally have 3 fans going in my bedroom. I don't usually leave my bedroom because the rest of the house is just too hot.
Wow.
And I'm sitting here, like, melting. Like, I'm sweating underneath because I'm sitting in my living room and it's 28 degrees in my house.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because we don't have air conditioning, right? And I've got no power to run air conditioning either, to be fair. My son's got air conditioning, but then the breaker's always blowing. But again, you know, people want to deny climate change. Like, there's floods going on in Belgium and Germany. There's fires all over the western part of the United States
Lakes
too.
are drying up.
We just went to phase 2 on our water.
Times, but do you think this is the end of times?
I don't think it's the end of times, but I think it's going to be the weakest die and the strongest survive. I think we're going to go into that mode where, again, like I said, they found the lady in red 34,000 years ago with her bones in with a mammoth. So that proves that there was actually people here when the dinosaurs were roaming the earth. And that's what killed us off was the Ice Age. But some of them obviously survived or we still wouldn't fucking be here. Right? Yeah. So I think that catalytic, whatever happened during the Ice Age, man survived that. Because like I said, I don't think we'd be here if not. Some puddle of whatever, somebody somewhere survived the Ice Age. Or we wouldn't be here. And
life always goes on,
right?
Life always goes on.
Right, exactly.
We always go through these
right, and I do believe,
times.
I do believe that we are going to, come to the point where life is not going to be the same as we remember it. And they warned us. I've been here. How old are you? You're 61. I'm 51. Yep. We've been hearing this our whole lives. If we don't stop heating up the earth,
the world we
are going to be in trouble. And we've been hearing this my whole life. Like, everybody's like, my mom, like I said, my mom and dad have been recycling in Lethbridge for 20 years already. We just barely got recycling bins in Cranbrook. Yet they've been recycling in Lethbridge for 20 years, all their cans and their cardboard and stuff, and it gets picked up from the house. I remember my mom, like, when I was growing up as a teenager, having to take the, soup can lids off and, take the labels off and rinse them out and put them in a bag because we were recycling, because that was what we felt we were doing to our part, doing our part, right? And I've always done that. I've always tried to do my part, but my part's not enough. And your part's not enough. It's other corporations, and then they want to still put those fucking mines in the Crow's Nest Pass. The Alberta Energy Regulation said, no, they do not match up. This is not going to fly. And you got 100,000 fucking, not that many, you got probably 20 people in fucking Crow's Nest Pass, but 200 people in the Crow's Nest Pass screaming about jobs. So you want to rip a whole mountain down so you can have a fucking job?
Yeah. No, I know.
Sucks. So you know what? If this COVID has to be a population control for this stupid, I'm in.
Well, it seems like it is. It seems like, I mean, that's the thing, though. Okay, I'm not
even sorry about saying that.
Sometimes I think I can't stand these right wing. Like, I'm just like, I was born to like fight them. It's like I've been in this fight forever. But then and again, I get so upset that they don't care enough about humanity. But then I should think, well, they're mostly the ones who are dying at this point, the unvaccinated. That's who's dying.
Well, it's like somebody else saying, people aren't going back to work because of the CRB and stuff. And I said, excuse me, you think people are staying home for $1,800 lousy dollars a month when their rent's half of that? Right?
Yeah.
And here's another thing: when the United States and Canada have lost a certain portion of people to death because of COVID, and because there's long haulers of people that have gotten COVID that are now disabled and cannot go back to their jobs, there's hundreds of thousands of people that aren't going back to their regular jobs because they're in a wheelchair, they have no breathing ability, they're still finding it fatiguish, and they can't get off their fucking chairs because they suffered from having COVID. Do you think that might have a problem with the employment bank as you're all screaming about not having people to come work for you? Well, maybe if you didn't pay them, this is what Biden said too the other night when he did his town hall to this restaurant owner who has 39 restaurants in the state. Are you paying your people any more than $7, $8 an hour? Because if you're not, they're not going to come back.
Right, and risk getting sick again, and sick, and abuse.
And Biden pretty much said, we're giving people free education, secondary education. So these people are going to be looking for better opportunities, like going to school to upgrade themselves so they can get better work, so they don't want to have to come to work for you for $7 an hour.
Sure. I mean, this is the silver lining of COVID in reality, in that it's going to force a big change in that way. And that is a silver lining.
Well, let's put it this way. Soul Food here in town is looking for servers. She is offered a $50,000 a year salary.
Wow.
For a fucking server and a cook or a chef.
Wow.
But she wants a top end, like Michelin. She's a master chef herself. Danielle was a master chef. She was on the show. Like, she got to compete in Master Chef Canada. Nice. She's a fabulous chef. It's a fabulous little restaurant. But she's put out there, she's headhunting for servers, but she wants long-term, decent staff. But she's offering $50,000 a year. That's decent money. That's decent money. Sure. So if you're, you know what I mean? And there's signing bonuses and all kinds of stuff. And that's, like I said, and she's a business owner here in Cranbrook. But that's the thing. If you want to bring in quality people, you have to pay them quality money. And you have to treat them good, too. So just because you're paying them well doesn't mean you can treat them like shit either, right?
No.
Like, you have to pay your people well, treat them well, give them benefits, and make them feel like family. And I'll guarantee those people will stay with you. In fact, with my hair salon, I know my one girl, Chantel, when I had to close the salon, she was heartbroken. Because she didn't want to have to close, like, it was a very short period of time, but she felt like part of my family. Because that's how you treat your staff.
Yeah.
You treat your staff like you treat your kids. Like, or, you expect them to do stuff, but you're also paying them. But again, I wasn't paying my girls minimum wage. They're all on commission. So I didn't expect them to be scrubbing fucking toilets and cleaning shit with toothbrushes. They did it out of the kindness of their hearts to help the salon stay clean, and they always helped me. But I wasn't paying them to do that. They did their haircuts. They got paid really well. I gave them higher commission than any other salon in town. And they didn't have to pay product fucking cost, where a lot of the salons were 50% commission and product cost. I had no product cost, and I paid my girls 65% commission.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, no, I it's true. It's small business. It's harder. There's no question, but people are going to have to be more creative and more generous. That's just the reality.
Well, if you're not paying your staff $15 an hour minimum wage, which is $15.20 in British Columbia now, our wages have gone up to $15.20 an hour. That's our minimum wage in British Columbia.
That's so good. No, that is so. That should be standard across.
I'm pretty sure. I better double check that, but I'm pretty sure that's what they just changed it to.
Nice. No, that's good.
I don't know what the minimum wage is out there.
You know what? I don't know. I actually don't know.
Yeah, $15.20 an hour. BC's minimum wage increased to $15.20 per hour. BC's lowest paid workers will get the boost. And their next paycheck minimum wage increased today from $14.60 to $15.20 an hour. That was July 1st. So that's the minimum wage in BC. What's the minimum wage in Quebec? Let's find out. $13.50 an hour.
Okay.
So it's still not bad, but it's still not $15.20 an hour.
Right.
But of course, the cost of living in British Columbia might be a little higher. But no, Quebec's got GST and provincial sales tax too, do they not?
Yes, definitely.
We've got
definitely
both here.
Taxed big time in Quebec. I think we're the most taxed province. But also, I think it's getting more expensive, but it's still probably cheaper to live here. What's it like outside of like Vancouver? Like, is it?
Rents are ridiculous here. Our gas prices are
Yeah, no.
ridiculous here.
So I mean, it's getting harder here
So
for
you
sure.
guys' sales tax in total is 9.97% at the till. So that's your GST and PST. So you pay 9.9. So say you pay 10% taxes at the till, right? In BC we pay. Hang on a second. I love Google just for these stupid things, right? BC sales taxes. I think it's at 14% actually. 7% sales tax, and then another 5% federal GST, so 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, we pay 12%. So we're paying 2% more on our GST and PST than Quebec, too.
Okay, I thought we paid the most of everything. But...
No, we have a 7% sales tax, and then they tried the harmonized sales tax. I didn't fly here for very long. BC is actually the last province that actually had... until January of last year, we had to pay healthcare premiums too, to the tune of $75 per person per household, per month. Per month. So for a family of 3, it was $175 per month for MSP. I have a bill with MSP for $5,200.
Wow.
For healthcare, for medical. Yeah. And I'm not paying it, and I'll tell you why. They didn't put it in Alvin's name, they put it in mine. I have zero fucking income. Pretty hard to charge me for something I don't have. And that because their workers were too lazy to set Alvin up his own account, they just added them to my account. So they can get stuffed. And that's what I tell them when they call.
Yeah. I'm sure they're getting, I'm sure, I mean, at this point when people have been suffering so much, and that's why, oh man, out on the street, I got like hugged. I'm not a hugger and I'm whatever, but people are, there is a bit of a feeling of, because of joints to, sometimes you strike up conversation. And I went to the Dyke Bar with my cop friend, and this was a little funny scene. And I was so happy to be in the Dyke Bar. And whatever this waitress was, we were sitting at a table that, was reserved, but she was fine with us sitting there until the people came. And then the people came, but she kind of like made a spot for us, and we were so grateful. And I said, "Do you toke?" And her eyes lit up, and so I gave her like 2 joints. And then and a little while later, like Sylvia was talking to her and said she was a cop, and I could see she looked at me kind of puzzled. And I said, "Yeah, she's the cop, and I'm the healer dealer." So it was just kind of a fun moment. And then I asked her if I could bring my petition next Dyke Night, because they have Dyke Night there in 2 weeks or something. I was like, yes, and it's a whatever. And so I got to, pimp my petition, which I'm still
Excellent. Keep pushing it. You know what? You don't even have to have it, like, take it with you out. Get anybody to sign it. It's like my candidate here in Cranbrook. We need 150 signatures to just get her when the writ drops, right? To make sure that she is who she is. They don't have to vote for Liberals. They don't have to vote for anything. They don't even have to vote. They just have to sign this piece of paper saying that Robin's whose Robin is, and that she's not fake, right? So we, so we have to scramble, and I got to get some printed off because I need 150 We need 150 signatures before the writ drops. So
well, I hope to have a couple. My plan is after Labor Day weekend. That's when I'm going to collect them. I've got 2 head shops that I can count on, which is good enough. And and this is the other funny thing that happened at the Dyke Bar. These young ones came up to us, because we're the old ones, and said, "We're having a fetish night, and you're invited, and it's free for those over 40. And I was like, "Yay!"
It's free to those over 40.
But I'm like, "Oh my God, that's so awesome!" And then we read, it was fabulous what they wrote, because you have to text on the day of or whatever. And they're saying, "And bring a extra shirt and this and that in case the cops come." And anyway, so going with my cop friend, and we're going to have fun. So if the cops come, I'll be with the cop.
Right?
Yeah.
That's so ironic. That's so funny. That is so funny. Here you are. Here's my friend, the pothead, hanging out with the pot cop. It just kills me. But you know what? That just shows that they're coming a long ways too. That they're actually.
They always like. She goes, "I can't believe it that you came up to my cop," because I approached her cop cruiser. I could just tell by looking at her that she was.
I remember you telling me this.
That she was a dyke and that she was approachable and whatever. Anyways, it was a lot of, she is, she's a friend, and and we have a good time. So it's kind of fun. But
That's
yeah,
you know what,
so,
that's I think that's just terrific. I honestly do. I think that's absolutely terrific. That, you know, like I said, even I've got another friend of mine too that was dating an ex RCMP officer, right? And she's a cannabis patient too, and it was all good. Like, he just, you know, medical and things, like I said, they've come a long way, law enforcement officers, but a lot of them didn't think cannabis was a big deal for decades. They really hated having to deal with the paperwork. They really, you know, for a small possession charge, and you throw it in the garbage and not be done with it. They didn't really want to have to deal with it, to be fair.
No.
When it comes to the big grows, and you know, you're going in and you're busting 1,000 plants, and you got guys with guns and other drugs and that kind of stuff. You know, that's a different, you know, different scenario. But when it came to, you know, busting people for a joint or busting, none of them really. It's more of a pain in the ass for them for paperwork than anything anyway, right? And I heard that quite a bit with my mom working for the RCMP for 30 years.
I think the good ones quickly figured it out. Like, you know,
there's always going to be some hard ass that's going to fucking, you know, try and make a point about everything. It doesn't matter. There's always that one hard ass, right? And one hard ass rookie or something. But like I said, I guess I was fortunate to grow up in the RCMP. You know what I mean? Like, to be fair, because I did. Like, I hate to think about it that way, but my mom worked for the RCMP from the time I was fucking 13 years old till I was 38, 39, 40. Like, my mom worked for them my whole life. So, and my brother, like I said, just got himself another dog. Like, my brother's a drug-sniffing dog handler at the Lethbridge Correctional Institute. And I don't know what happened to Bella, but he just went and picked himself up a new dog. So he's still handling the dogs, and good for them. Like, you know, good for my brother. Like, he went to school to be an emergency medical technician. He wanted to be a paramedic. And because of his size and because of the way the system works in Lethbridge, you have to be a paramedic to be a firefighter, and it's all stupid shit. And of course, he's not fucking Mormon, so that's another fucking obstacle in Lethbridge. So, you know what I mean? And he's not a big guy. Like, he tried to get into the Edmonton Police Force, but the RCMP wouldn't take him because he wore glasses, and he wasn't bilingual, and he wasn't a woman. So that's why he got turned down by the RCMP, because right now the RCMP is exclusively looking for minority French-speaking women.
You know what? I wish they would reinvent themselves. Like, you know what? You know, do we need royal? No. Are mounted? You know, they're not like on horses. All of them. You know, there's a few of them. Like, I think it needs to be. You know, just because of the association too. I think with residential schools that it should be.
That's not going to happen. That's just not going to happen.
I like to throw out my fantasies.
It would be great, but it's not going to happen. Like, you know what I mean? Like, our institutions.
Turtle Island Police, like, come on.
They do. They do have their own police services. The Blood Tribe Police.
I know. But I'm just saying, like, why do we have to have something they call royal? Like, I don't know. I just want us to,
because we still are part of the Commonwealth.
I know. I got reminded of that today. I understand that.
Right?
You know
what is amazing? Like I said to Alvin, like with her sitting on that throne with her husband, I said she is directly, that might as well be the queen. So now we have an Indigenous queen running our country. Right? We look at it that way. Because if you look at her, she's a representative of the queen. Well, then the queen is being represented by a very humble Indigenous woman. And it should have been that way probably from the get-go.
I'd say so.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe if they would have you know.
But better late than never.
Right?
Yeah.
But like I said, in a perfect Canada, we'd all be Métis. Or, you know what I mean? Or we'd all would have come here and we would have learned the Indigenous ways rather than forcing our shit down their throat.
Yeah, well, like, look, when you watch, you know, Jerusalem, Faith and Fury, and whatever, okay, like the Crusades are coming, you know, next week. I think those are my people, you know, those are my murderers,
right?
My marauding murderers,
right? And that's the thing, like, but it all boils down to one society believing that they're better than another society, and they come in and they take over, and they just kill people.
Human history is just a gangster shit show. Like, it's just disgusting. It really is.
We are disgusting. Humans are disgusting in all forms. It's all about power and money and greed. And
on that note, and since we're almost up, I love you, human. I mean, we are evolving. We are evolving. I love you, human. Stay
I love
human.
You, human too. I love all my humans. Stay human. Yeah, some of them aren't so great, but yeah, like I said, you know, it is what it is, and let's keep positive and keep thinking for a better future, because I think that with women changing things, and I really firmly believe that we'll go back to a matriarchal more than a patriarchal society.
Yes. No, for sure we have to. No, there is it's great. There is great hope because the bitches are taking over.
And I'm seeing a lot of TikTok, a lot of natives that are willing to educate, open their hearts to us, to educate us, to make sure that we learn their ways and learn it in a good and healing manner. They are not being racist. They are not being. Some of them are. Some of them aren't so very happy. But there are a lot of them that have opened their hearts to educating us and teaching us the truths. And there are things that we'll never learn because we're not them. But we need to open our hearts. And like Mary Simon said today, reconciliation is in each and every one of us, and we have to do it every single day for each other.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the obligation of every Canadian, 100%.
Yeah.
To do some work, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's not on the government. It's on every single one of us. And I believe that firmly. I believe that every single one of us have to make steps for healing, for them, for all of us, Yeah. Well, my dear, it's been a great show again, as usual.
Wow. Just good.
An hour flips by, right? Maybe we should try and get a guest one of these days, but I don't know. We probably wouldn't give them a minute of word, to say anything. So, but yeah, thanks for
finding our groove.
I think
we didn't talk about the war on drugs this week.
No, we talked about everything else.
We'll take that up again next week because we're
not
going to stop talking about it until it's over.
No, and maybe we'll have some news on maybe Health Canada will come out with something about the patients or something, because I've been kind of watching for that too to see if anything is coming out about the 75-day consultation that they finished, and that was in May the 17th. It's now into July. So, maybe we'll have a word or something from Health Canada by, I don't know, maybe after the fucking election.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a good point. That is a very good point.
Right. So we still have that lingering as well. And I know a lot of people are growing. It's summertime, and I'm wishing the best for everybody's crops. And I hope that, the 12 and 12 will start here probably in another 4 weeks. So hopefully your ladies are big and beautiful and getting ready for harvest in September. So, yeah, we'll talk more about that next week.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I guess we'll say goodbye, everybody. Bye.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir, mon ami. Au revoir.
Au revoir. Okay, I'm reading. I will say goodnight to everybody. We'll see you next week. Night.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.